Good evening, good evening. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, just finished up Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2022 pay-per-view, the celebration of 20 years of Impact Wrestling, and it put on quite an awesome pay-per-view. Whew, a lot happened tonight. A whole lot happened. There were so many title changes. It was crazy. And the matches were solid. So, let's get right on into this. Unfortunately, there was one match which I did not know ended up being the pre-show match. And I tried my best to look like on YouTube or whatnot to catch this match, but I couldn't catch this match. But it was the Digital Media Championship match. That was apparently the pre-show match, which was Rich Swann versus Brian Myers. The only thing that I know is that Rich Swann won, but I really wish I could have gone back and seen that match, whether it was on YouTube. Like, they didn't even show it on the pay-per-view itself. Like, so I don't know. For any of y'all that caught that match, let me know what you thought, but wasn't able to catch it. But Rich Swann did win that match against Brian Myers, and that was apparently the pre-show match. So the main card kicks off first with the X Division Championship on the line, as an Ultimate X match is the deciding match, and it included the competitors of the champion Ace Austin. We had Kenny King, we had Speedball Mike Bailey, we had Trey Miguel, we had Alex Zane, and even though we were supposed to get Jack Evans, unfortunately he had suffered an injury. I believe I think it was in AAA. I think it was AAA Triple Mania. I'm not too sure, but he recently suffered an injury and was not able to compete in this match. So Andrew Everett was actually Jack Evans' replacement. So those were the 6 competitors in this Ultimate X match for the X Division title, which, you know, I was really glad to see that they brought back the Ultimate X match for this particular event. For 20 years of Impact Wrestling, this was definitely the X Division style of match to have. And it was great. It was really great, very action-packed. I mean, as you could normally see in a Ultimate X match. Although I felt like it could have been a little longer. But nonetheless, it was still a great match. And this started off with the first title change of the night, as shockingly, Speedball Mike Bailey picked up the victory, going across to the middle of the X and unhooking the X Division title. I did not see that one coming. I was actually very surprised, but you know what? I'm all for it. I originally was thinking either Kenny King or perhaps, Alex Zane was going to win, but hey, I will gladly take Speedball Mike Bailey as new X Division champion. I hope he has a decent run, too. This should be cool. So, you know, not who I predicted, but I like the outcome. But yeah, Speedball Mike Bailey is your new X Division champion. Good stuff. And then, let's see, next up, we had the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship match, or Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. So we had the Influence, the champions the Influence, made up of Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rain, going up against the challengers, the combination of Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. And this was another really good match, and got to give mad kudos to Taya Valkyrie, who was just at the recent Triple Mania show. She's the AAA Reina's women's champion. I don't know the full description of the belt, but Taya Valkyrie holds that belt, just competed, and right back here at Slammiversary competing. So kudos to Taya Valkyrie. I can imagine she's exhausted. But this was a good tag team match. Definitely enjoyed this match. Chemistry seemed kind of rocky at first between Taya and Rosemary, but they were able to get things together. And, you know, while this was a back and forth match, when it came down to it in the end, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie, ladies and gentlemen, the second title change of the night happened here as Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie became the new Impact Wrestling Knockout Tag Team Champions. And I tell you, I didn't see that one coming either. I was thinking maybe the Influence was going to hold on, but hey, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie, who have teamed before in the past, but hey, it's good to see them back together, and they take home gold at Slammiversary 2022. So, really good stuff. So I definitely enjoyed this match. I was just a little bit surprised with the outcome, because I mean they just pretty much got back together. But hey, I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. Next up, we had the Monsters Ball match. Ooh, Monsters Ball, a very iconic type of wrestling match in Impact Wrestling, where we had Moose taking on Sammy Callahan. Whew, this was an insanely brutal match. I mean, we had cookie sheets, we had barbed wire on a door, barbed wire around a bat. We had trash cans and trash can lids. We had thumbtacks. I mean, just, it was nasty. We had tables. It was nasty. Not to mention, I give Moose a lot of credit. That dude took 3 spiked pile drivers in this match, especially with like 1 or 2 of them onto the thumbtacks. Like, whoo-wee. Moose, that is one tough customer. Dang, he got hit with 3 spiked pile drivers. Goodness gracious. Shoot, got dumped onto the barbed wire door. Whew, man. And both competitors hit those thumbtacks a couple of different times, too. It was crazy. A very brutal Monsters Ball match. And sure enough, Sammy Callahan got the victory. But man, Moose looked really strong in this match. Really strong. But wow. I mean, 3 spiked pile drivers. Goodness gracious. Not to mention, you could see there was 1 thumbtack sticking in the head of Moose. Just like, yow. Whew. That was a brutal match. That was a very brutal match. Next up, we had the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles on the line as the Briscoe brothers defended against the Good Brothers. This was another good match as well. Definitely back and forth. It was pretty long, too. I thought it was pretty long. But definitely a great match between these 2 phenomenal tag teams. And sure enough, when it all came to pass, took a magic killer And the Good Brothers are once again Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Did not expect that at all, because it wasn't that long ago that the Briscoes just won those tag titles. But I like what they did at the end. There was a nice little special celebration at the end as America's Most Wanted. That's right, Wildcat Chris Harris, the Tennessee Cowboy James Storm, came down with a case of beers and joined in a toast with both tag teams, and they celebrated. They had a toast. Of course, Chris Harris had a bottle of water, which I guess either he was the DD or he doesn't drink. But yeah, they shared a nice little toast, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I felt like the Briscoes and the Good Brothers, broke character for a moment to just celebrate, because as James Storm said, tag teams is something that Impact Wrestling valued a lot over the years. They valued tag team wrestling, and there have been so many iconic tag teams in that promotion, whether it's the men or the knockouts, you know what I'm saying? So it was really good to see them celebrate that moment. And of course, shout outs to the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, who got voted the most impactful tag team in Impact Wrestling. Of course, if y'all know me long enough, they're my all-time favorite tag team. So definitely really cool to see that. And just a nice little moment to see these three tag teams just have a toast and just celebrate the 20 years of Impact Wrestling. It was definitely really cool. I enjoyed that moment. Next up was my favorite match of the card. This was the 10-man tag, Honor No More versus the Impact Originals. So, Honor No More was made up of Eddie Edwards. We had Vincent. We had Mike Bennett. We had Matt Taven. And we had PCO. And then, of course, the Impact Originals, which was quite a great lineup, was, of course, we had Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns. We had Frankie Kazarian. We had Nick Aldis. Some of y'all may know him back at Impact Wrestling as Magnus or Brutus Magnus. And then Dixie Carter came out and announced the fifth competitor for the Impact Originals, which ended up being the Lone Wolf, Davey Richards, former tag team partner of Eddie Edwards. They were, known as the American Wolves or the Wolves. Joins the Impact Originals. And I tell you, this match was excellent. I mean, a lot of action from all 10 men. A lot of combos here and there, especially from the Impact Originals. But, man, this was a very entertaining 10-man tag. And it even got to the point where we saw Tracy Brooks get involved, and she attacked Maria Kanellis. Of course, y'all know Tracy Brooks is the wife of Frankie Kazarian. So she got involved, and that was really cool. Brian Hebner was down for a moment, and Earl Hebner, who was also in attendance, came in, and he also took part of this match near the end, as, of course, the Impact Originals ended up getting the victory, and Earl Hebner made the 1, 2, 3 count, as he had on a referee shirt under the shirt he was wearing. And it was just an incredible moment for the Impact Originals. But yeah, they were able to get the victory, and it was a phenomenal match. And of course, it was good to see the father and son duo of Brian and Earl Hebner there in the ring together. Of course, signaling up to Earl's fallen brother. I believe it was Dan Hebner, I believe, to his fallen brother. But yeah, I tell you, that was quite a moment. Definitely quite a moment. And then not only did we see that, we also saw DLo Brown. You better recognize, get involved as well. Like seeing DLo Brown, that was, or excuse me, I'm sorry, not Dan Hebner, Dave Hebner. My mistake, Dave Hebner, Earl Hebner's brother. But DLo Brown came out and evened up the odds, made some noise. And not only did we see DLo Brown do a sky high, but even though he slipped the first time, tried again, and was able to hit the lowdown. I haven't seen DLo Brown hit the lowdown in forever. So it was really cool to see that. And like I said, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards had their showdown and such. I thought maybe for a second Davey might have pulled a swerve, but nope. Impact Originals got the victory, and it was quite a moment for them. And yeah, saw Earl Hebner get involved, Tracy Brooks get involved. It was amazing. It was such an excellent match. We also had Christy Hemme. Christy Hemme also announced this, or did the ring announcing. So I thought that was really cool. It was good to see Christy Hemme, who was also a big part of Impact Wrestling. But yeah, definitely this was my favorite match of the card. Hands down my favorite match. So definitely enjoyed it. And also a couple of shout-outs were made throughout this show to comment on the 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling. We had Sting, we had Kurt Angle, we had Gail Kim. Of course, Gail Kim was voted as the most impactful knockout of Impact Wrestling, which, I mean, makes a lot of sense. They even had AJ Styles, which, he wasn't there in person, but as AJ Styles said, WWE gave him permission to be able to submit a video of him, giving tribute and celebrating 20 years of Impact Wrestling. And not only that, AJ Styles got the most impactful male superstar, and I think one other award as well. But, when you think about it, over the years, AJ Styles was Impact Wrestling. Let's just keep it real. He was Impact Wrestling. And he has built such a legacy in Impact Wrestling that it will always be one of the biggest things that really helped Impact Wrestling get to where they are today. Even though he's with WWE now, Impact Wrestling definitely, TNA was definitely the house that pretty much built AJ Styles. So it was really good to see AJ Styles do a video, a tribute. So that was really cool. But I like what they did. I like the spotlight that they did on the Professor Mike Tenay as well as Don West. And I know Don West is going through a lot, dealing with, I think, lymphoma, I believe. So hopefully he can get a speedy recovery and his treatments and everything go well. But, man, they were quite a commentary duo. Don West, Mike Tenay. And Mike Tenay, Mike Tenay has been in the business a long time, even back in the WCW days. Mike Tenay is a legend. So, I tell you, it's really good to see them pay tribute to them. Love it, love it, love it. But man, if it's one thing I will say about AJ Styles, he really was a big piece that helped carry Impact Wrestling. Like, there's no question. No question at all. But yeah, so far, that's 3 title changes so far. The X Division title, the Knockouts Tag Team titles, as well as the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles. That's 3 title changes so far. Let's go into the Queen of the Mountain match for the Knockouts Championship. Queen of the Mountain. Competitors were, of course, the champion, Tasha Steelz. We had the Hot Mess, Chelsea Green. We had the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. We had Thick Mama Pump, Jordynne Grace. And we had the Limitless one, the HBIC, Mia Yim. Now, Mickie James was the special guest enforcer for this match. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the Queen of the Mountain or, King of the Mountain matches, the way this works is everybody starts off ineligible to win the title. To become eligible, you need to pin or submit one of the other competitors. Once you do that, the first time, you become eligible. And whoever gets pinned or submits has to go into the penalty cage for 2 minutes. For those that are eligible to win, you have to climb up the ladder with the Knockouts Championship, and you have to hang it up on the hook. You have to hang it up on the hook. And that's how you win the match. So, very creative, very interesting, very specific rules for this match. But I tell you, I feel for Tasha Steelz. She got sent to the penalty cage 3 times. So yeah, I felt for her. Shoot, Mia Yim got sent there once. Jordynne Grace got sent there once. Chelsea Green got sent there once. Savannah Evans was in Tasha Steelz's corner for a bit, but then she got thrown out by Mickie James. And pretty much Mickie James made sure Chelsea Green wasn't going to win this match. But, yeah, this was a great match. Very action-packed. The ladies definitely did their thing. And I didn't even realize that pinfalls could happen outside of the ring, because that happened with Mia Yim. Mia Yim got one of the pinfalls on the outside of the ring. But each of the ladies did become eligible in the midst of this match. So there was that. But ultimately, in the end, it was Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace. So 4th title change tonight, as Jordynne Grace was able to get the Knockouts title up the ladder and hook it on the hook to become the new Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion. So congratulations to Jordynne Grace. I wanted Mia Yim to win, but hey, I like Jordynne Grace. I definitely like Jordynne Grace. So, excellent to see that happen for her. But it was a great match. It was definitely a great match. And this was the first ever Queen of the Mountain match as well. And that was also a pretty sick muscle buster that she hit, which I believe was on Chelsea Green, I believe. So it was either on Chelsea Green or Tasha Steelz, but it was a pretty good muscle buster. But man, I tell you, that was a great match. And then the main event of the evening for the Impact Wrestling World Championship, the champion, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, defended against the leader of Violent by Design, Eric Young. And this was definitely a really good match. I know Josh Alexander had his wife and son watching, and he was also outnumbered because Eric Young had Diener and Joe Doering in his corner, so he was outnumbered the whole time. And it was just back and forth. I mean, both these men looked really strong. And when it was all said and done, and not to mention, Josh Alexander kicked out of a lot of stuff. Kicked out of a lot of stuff. Even pile driver on the wood. I mean, he was kicking out of everything. But there was a time where Eric Young really had an open opportunity after the yellow powder was thrown in Brian Hebner's face. But, man, a lot of resiliency in this match from Josh Alexander. And then, not only that, we saw a lot of different moves used that were tribute to other Impact Wrestling former superstars. Like, we saw Styles Clash, we saw a BME, we saw the, what else did we see? We saw, what else did we see? We saw the Samoa Joe Uranagi. There was we saw a number of different moves. Oh yeah, Black Hole Slam from Abyss. Oh yeah, and of course, Angle Slam. Shout out to Kurt Angle when Josh Alexander took out Joe Doering with the Angle Slam to the outside through a table. But yeah, we saw a lot. Guitar shot from Eric Young, tribute to Jeff Jarrett. So I mean, we saw a lot. We saw a whole lot. But yeah. And then when it was all said and done, Josh Alexander, after kicking out of all that offense from Eric Young, was able to hit the Uranagi onto the exposed wood and then hit a C4 onto the wood and was able to retain the Impact Wrestling World Championship. And that was your main event. So, 2 titles retained, 4 title changes at Slammiversary. It's crazy. That was crazy. Like, I don't even remember the last time I saw that many title changes, to be honest with you. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that many title changes. But, wow, there were 4 tonight. Jeez. But I have to say, that was a great pay-per-view, Slammiversary. And, Slammiversary has always been one of Impact Wrestling's big pay-per-views. But it was good to see, for this to be their 20th year anniversary celebration, I thought it was really good. And, of course, they also announced their next big one in October is their biggest one, which is Bound for Glory. So, looking forward to... I'll probably definitely order that one. Definitely looking forward to that one. And I think they got Against All Odds coming up as well. But Bound for Glory is pretty much their biggest one. So, definitely look forward to that. But otherwise, Slammiversary 2022 definitely was a great pay-per-view. Definitely enjoyed it. But, yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for this video. Let me know what y'all thought about Slammiversary 2022. What did you think of the matches? What did you think of the outcomes? 4 title changes. And, yeah, let me know what y'all thought. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, for another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody had a blessed Father's Day, and I hope everybody has a blessed week as the new week kicks off. And I will see y'all soon in the next video. Alrighty, take care. Peace out. Love y'all.